Hey, happy Friday, everybody. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. I'm going to give you the latest update on the tropics. I'm still showing what I said yesterday is true, that the first wave will be suppressed and it will not come in like the model guidance was showing many times. Now, if you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. Not only is this channel a little over a year old, and I am all year long, we already have over 124,000 subscribers because I do severe weather as well. But that's mainly because I don't just show you model runs, I show you the data that is involved in all this weather information. And the data is actually what comes out first, and that gets thrown into all these model guidances that your weather guy or other people shows you in their videos. So if you want to stay up to date as far as what's going on with the weather, be smart and subscribe. And most importantly, not just subscribe, make sure you hit that bell. Because if you don't click that bell next to the subscribe button, you will not get notified as often or early enough when my videos do come out, even though you are subscribed. That bell is so important. Plus, another thing I always do add is I never put in those 15-second ads and sit here and waste your time. I usually put in timestamps to help save you time, just not for today. Today, there's no severe weather I'm putting in this video. This is only your tropical update because we have data to go through for today as well. But the creators always have the opportunity to control that, and I don't put in those ads for you. Mine are always clickable so you can skip them and get back to the information, the content in the video, which is most important. And I don't do sponsorship. I don't do all those commercials. I just want to help you as much as possible. As a matter of fact, we always help people over here, and instead of taking from you, we give back and we feed people as often as possible. And everybody, that went great with feeding people yesterday, so thank you so much for helping out with that. And remember, if you do want to help out with feeding people, links are in the description to help support that as well. Just make sure you mark the donation for feeding people, make it for food. That way I know to put it into the food account so we can do it again every month as always. And if it's not the size that I want it to be to help feed people, I'm always going to throw my money in there as well to make sure we keep this going every month, as well as giving Bibles. I do that every month, passing out Bibles, giving to people the need, not only your food for yourself, but your spiritual food. And that is so important. So I'm going to give you the latest information, everyone. So happy Friday to every single one of you. God bless every single one of you. And let's get into the video. So make sure you hit that like button. Help get this information out to as many people as possible, as well as share this information to as many people as you can. Because we need to start alerting. It's starting to trend more and more. Not only what we're seeing for this morning in the run where it shows it going towards Texas, and so far it is going towards Houston and curving towards Dallas. Because so far what I'm showing is that this storm, when it comes in, we have multiple cyclones coming in. Matter of fact, it's about to start opening up. I show that your cone will be somewheres in this region, not just for Dallas. I believe it will be somewheres in this region. So in about 5 days, you will start seeing National Hurricane Center putting out an outlook right here for Central America, Western Caribbean, for things forming up. But I still believe, and I'll show you in the data, that the first one will be suppressed, either be Southern Texas or Northern Mexico. But that second wave, because we still have more waves out there, will be the one that be taking that northern push into the Gulf of Mexico. And that is because of the setup that we have coming into. So let me explain everything to you. God bless every single one of you. Now let's get into the information that we have for today. And once again, happy Friday, everybody. But like I said, if you've never been here before, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell, because if you're just finding out about these temperatures that are coming, especially into next week, my community has known about that setup for almost a week now, and it's still showing true. So make sure you get alert early to what's going on, because the best way to handle weather is early preparation, as well as your tropics too, because nobody does tropics like me. Ask the community in the comments below. They will tell you themselves what goes on here on this channel. But I'm still showing right here towards Houston, towards Texas, over 8 days now, they have been alerted to this possibility of what's coming their way. So if you like to be early, not only for severe weather, for tropics, make sure you get subscribed, make sure you hit that bell, and make sure you keep yourself safe. Now, for the Pacific side, we still have Hurricane Blas is still moving to the west, still no threat for anybody. And we still have Tropical Depression 3. Now, this will still become Tropical Storm Celia in the Pacific, still no threat for anybody. Matter of fact, as you look at what's going on with Tropical Depression 3, you can see clearly that it is literally a tropical storm already. Now, if it does not have all the rotation on the north, west, south, and east side of the center, it will not be getting a name until it gets that. Until then, it'll just be tropical storm effects. But it's already at 40 miles per hour wind, so it's already at tropical storm strength. And it's expected to get up to 45, go up to 48, get up to 52, 54. It's expected to climb all the way to 64 miles per hour winds, right on the edge of a hurricane, even get all the way up to 67. So it will be a high-end tropical storm, still no threat. And you can see right here on the track of Hurricane Blas that it will be going down to Tropical Storm Blas and Tropical Depression. No threat to anybody. Hawaii, no big deal. You can also see right here for Tropical Depression 3, Invest 93E, that it will become a tropical storm. It will be Tropical Storm Celia, and that's it. It's going to go out to the west, northwest. No threat for anybody as well. But like I said, we still have 2 more tropical waves out there, and they are on their way over. So our first tropical wave that we have out there is at 37 west, 14 north, southward, and it's moving west at 15 to 20 knots. And that would put this right about here, 37 and 14, and it is southward because it's still getting suppressed by the Saharan dust coming off, and it is moving west. Plus our next one, which is a little bit closer. This is one that's going to give us a first potential, but I still believe, like I said yesterday, this is going to get into a low blocking from the high pressure in the north that's protecting us now from that Invest that made it go, Invest 93L, that made it go into the Pacific, that's helping Celia form. But the next wave, which is going to be doing that, is right here at 70 west, 15 north, still southward, getting suppressed by the dust, and it's moving west at 15 to 20 knots. And that puts this one right about here, and it's moving west. And this is the one that some of the model guidance shows that this one's going towards Texas. I believe still, like I said yesterday, this one either southern Texas, northern Mexico, even get pushed more than likely into our Pacific and form up there. But that next one that is coming off, it's still a little bit of ways, but it will be towards the end of this month, maybe even drag into the very beginning of July. But that's the one that we need to prepare for, because no matter what, I'm showing that this one will go up. Central American gyre, which always throws these things northward, is going to throw it into the Gulf, and we are going to go into a blocking pattern over here in the Atlantic Ocean, which will keep it going in that direction. So as we take a look and see what's going on in the tropics, you can see exactly what's going on, just like we just said. Over here, you have Blas moving to the west. Over here, you have Invest 93E, Tropical Depression 3, which will form Celia. All that energy will come over and help it strengthen up and go to that westward push as well, just like you've seen in the guidance. But as you can see, we also have many big groups of thunderstorms, tropical waves that is still moving to the west, going by the Central American gyre, where it's going to start making that northward push. As well as that second wave that I told you about. This is the one that's going to be doing something, guys. And as you look off the coast of Africa, you can see we do have many waves that is on its way after the wave that gives us our little threat and potential coming, which I still have even higher confidence that this is the one that y'all been seeing in the model guidance. This is the one that we need to keep our eye on. I really believe that. Well, we have another one coming off the coast of Africa, and then the dust is going to be moving out towards the end of June, very beginning of July, and we have another one coming off the coast of Africa. So we have our season about to really start ramping up. So let's get into some of the data and see exactly what we can expect coming soon. Now, if you've never been here before, this is our potential velocity anomaly. And in our area is 120 west, west coast, 60 west, east coast. And from there to 0, all the way is our MDR, a main development region, all the way to Africa and the Caribbean. So this is what we have for our information. And then I'm going to show you the latest update that I just got in about 20 minutes ago. So as you can see in our region that we do have a lot of lift that is coming in our region, and we have chances for storms to form all the way from the 22nd, which is that first wave that I still believe will get suppressed and go a little more westward in the Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Campeche. Even the Eastern Pacific just gets suppressed back because of the high pressure. I still show that true. As well as the next one that is coming around the late 20s. And this is the one that really gives us our threat for the United States. And we have more coming off the MDR as we go towards even further the end of June and the beginning of July. It's really about to start ramping up, guys. Now, if you've been looking through the model guidance and you don't understand why one day it shows big storm coming towards Texas, possibly even Louisiana, the next model run, you'll see it going towards Mexico. Next model run, you see it going towards the Eastern Pacific. Then you see it come back, and the next model run come right back towards Texas again. It's because of this right here. This is your main guy that is causing all them fluctuations in the model guidance as it comes out later. This is part of your data. This is your Arctic Oscillation, your AO. This lets you know when you get these cold fronts coming in, and this really helps out for our winter forecast. But this lets you know when you get these cold fronts coming in and when you can get these high pressures, which is what a cold front is, and it starts doing these blocking patterns. And that would steer this. If it comes in, it would steer it further to the southwest. If it don't come in, it lets it come further to the north. So as you can see, on one model run, when you see it getting blocked, is because it has it coming down here around the 20s on that first wave that's coming in. And that would give it a blocking pattern, have it going into the Pacific, maybe even central gyre, swinging it around towards Mexico. Then you have the previous run after that. That takes it a little more relaxed, but still doing a little bit of a blocking pattern. That's why you see it going towards southern Texas, northern Mexico as a possible tropical storm or greater. Then you have the next model run, which shows that it just lifts away and we're not getting that blocking pattern. Then you see it coming towards Texas or Louisiana, a very strong storm, maybe even towards the panhandle of Florida, just really lifting up the high pressure and allowing all this energy to move way north into the Gulf of Mexico. So this fluctuation is why you're getting fluctuation in your model guidance that y'all look at. So for an example, I'm going to bring you to the perturbed members and let you see exactly what's going on with that data and why it impacts the change so much. And if you've never been here before, all them little squiggly lines that you see as possibilities, this puts it into a picture graph. So as you look at each one of the possibilities, it can show it going towards Northern Gulf, it can show it going towards Western Gulf, or just coming in. This is what the picture graph interprets it into. But what you want to pay attention to is this one up here in the corner. This is your controlled member. This is your more than likely outcome. So as we look at the 18Z, you can see right around the 22nd that this is when this energy is going to start forming by the Central America, looking at your controlled member. So as you look at it, this is an Arctic Oscillation showing that it releases way up to the north, and this allows it to pull northward into the Gulf of Mexico while you're still getting that block on that high pressure. I will show you that is a true thing still. And as it goes through the Gulf of Mexico, it stays somewhat weak and it maybe strengthens up at the last second. And this is your more than likely outcome. Even though you'll see right here a very strong hurricane-like, you'll probably seen that go towards Florida if you've been following it, or going towards Louisiana, towards Texas. But out of all that, if that were to show true, if it was to release it up, your more than likely outcome would be a very weak of disorganized thunderstorms being an upper level low. And by the end of June, the beginning of July, it would form up at the last second and be something weak, looking like a tropical storm. That's why when you see that go up on that high ridge, that's the outcome. It allows it to release up. But you see how much it's been fluctuating from yeah, no, maybe. Then as you look at your 12Z, which is your next run of the data, where you've seen it where it's not coming into the Gulf, and that's where it shows that it's getting blocked, and that's where it shows it coming down into that trough and blocking it. And you've seen how that been fluctuating a whole bunch. And you see how you get different outcomes as well with that. You have ones that shows that maybe it can go towards Louisiana, maybe it goes towards Central America. But if you look at your controlled member, you will see that it takes all the way to the end of the month and it gets suppressed. And it goes nowhere. It goes towards the Central America and maybe forms up into the Pacific side of the ocean. So let's get into some more of the data so you can see exactly what the outcome will be so far. I just wanted to explain to you why y'all been seeing all them fluctuations in the model guidance. I wanted to show you the data of why that is. So as we look at the AO, the Arctic oscillations that come in with the Euro. Now the Euro is showing that it will release up right now. That's why we have all that heat, right? But as we go into the 20s, that it will be a dip coming in, and that would put the block on. That would put it either in the Eastern Pacific, maybe northern Mexico at its more northern point, maybe even a little weak thing going to southern Texas, probably bringing some rainfall. But the Euro is showing that that would be coming in for the first wave. Now, as we look at the EPS, which is an ensemble prediction system, this is for the Euro as well. Matter of fact, this one is made to give medium to long range forecast confidence of the Euro. It's not just the quick 9 to 10 day of the Euro. This is a long range, and it is confirming that it will come down around the middle of the 20s, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And this would confirm that we will be getting a block on that first wave that didn't even come in yet, that it will be more of a west-southwest push on that, and more than likely will form up somewhere around the Pacific, around the Western Gulf by the Bay of Campeche of something. But it also confirms, just like the GFS has been seeing something coming into our Gulf, which will be that second wave that we are looking at, and it shows that it will be lifting up. And that white one right here is the previous. So it does see a big lift coming in. And right now, the latest update shows that it will gradually lift up. And that will allow that second wave to come into our Gulf of Mexico, guys. And you can see the information here. This is your update on your potential velocity anomaly that just come in a little bit ago. And you can see we have our little storm that's coming in around the 22nd. Has shrunk down some, and it's a little more to the westward. That would put that around the Eastern Pacific, maybe even the Bay of Campeche, maybe even swindling around the Central America by southern Mexico, bringing some more rainfall, maybe mudslide threats for y'all as well. But you can also see that we start going into the late 20s. It's showing more of a confidence that we will get a lot of lift, a lot of chances for velocity around the late 20s. And this is the one that is coming into our Gulf of Mexico. So as you look at the update from the AO, from the Arctic Oscillation with the GFS, you can see the dramatic change once again, where it's not showing that big lift, where it's showing that it will gradually come in just like the long range of the Euro. Now this shows it will gradually start coming in around the 19th and 20th and start going towards the late 20s and then release up to a higher warm up. And this will go into our tropical Atlantic. This will not be going so much severe over the US. This will come in for Saturday evening into Daddy's Day for Sunday. I don't call it Father's Day. We only have one Father, and that is our God in heaven. But it will come into Daddy's Day, or all you single moms out there, happy Daddy's Day. But it will come in that way and be over the Atlantic Ocean. This will create that high pressure that's doing all that blocking, letting it come into our Gulf of Mexico. Now you can see this here on your NAO. Your NAO is your North Atlantic Oscillation. This lets you know when you're going into a high ridge or a deep trough on your jet stream. High ridge, you bring in the storms up to the north. You're also letting that heat come up, just like y'all been knowing here for about a week now. You also have your deep troughs where it comes in downwards and it brings like your cold fronts, like in the wintertime, just like Texas. Remember, I alerted you first of that nasty situation y'all been through with that cold air. I still feel that for y'all. God bless y'all over there in Texas. That was an awful event. I'm glad for those that did heed my warning on that. But you can see that we do get that little dip as we go towards the 20th and the 21st. This will bring that cold air towards Ohio Valley for Saturday night, Sunday morning, maybe a little bit in the afternoon. Then it's going back up on a ridge. Then it's coming back into a deep trough in the late 20s. And this will be the suppression of the high pressure in the Atlantic. This is not bringing extreme temperatures or anything, because in our warm up of the summer, the coldness will be what, 60s? so y'all will be feeling 60s in the Northeast for Daddy's Day because of this, and that's this right here. But we do have it coming in the late 20s, and that will be doing our blocking of the second wave. So let me bring you back to the Perturbed members. Once again, this is our 0Z, the next one that we got last night. And if you've never been here before, the best weather data you can get is the 0Z and the 12Z. That's the 2 times a day that hundreds of meteorologists around the planet put up these weather balloons so we can get this good data that goes into the model guidance later on. So that is the best time to see the most accurate information. So as I show this to you, you can see this come into play, what I've been trying to tell you. And let's just go straight to our control member right here. And you see as that first one starts to form up, that it goes more westward, because that blocking right here, you can see it all the way in the Gulf. And that would make this steer in that direction and not let it come northward. You see it goes west. It goes towards the western Gulf of Mexico into the Bay of Campeche. And that is going to be an update, of course, for Mexico. But as you can see also, as we go towards the end of June, the beginning of July, the very beginning, right on the 1st, we get a late formation of an upper level low into the western side of the Gulf of Mexico. It travels real far. A lot of these perturbed members show all kind of craziness, but this is your more than likely outcome. This is the only one you want to pay attention to. And as you can see, the high pressure starts to relax back to the east, northeast, and that's because all this trough that's going into the Atlantic. And as you can tell, it gets a late formation, heads north, and goes somewhere towards Louisiana, towards Texas. And that's just like what the Farmer's Almanac is saying, because that right there would literally be a tropical storm, just not the 16th through the 19th. So they are about a week or so off, but that is pretty amazingly accurate. So let me update you on some more data. Like I said, today is data day. So this is your Madden Julian oscillation. This lets you know all the cold air, very high altitudes, but all that's revolving around North America and when it's going to make its dip into the U.S. And what you're looking at here is actually sideways. So when I turn it sideways, you can see exactly what's going on. So we have 7, which is your West Coast. We have 8, which is your East Coast. And we have 1, which is your MDR, your main development region coming off of Africa. So what you have is your Northeast right here, your Mid-Atlantic right here. So as you can see, as you go into 19th, 20th, and the 21st, that you get a dip of cold air into the Northeast. And this is going to bring that cold temperatures I told you for Saturday evening into Daddy Day. But you can also see that after that, that over the northern Atlantic, that this is going to bundle around for a while all the way to the 27th and just keep that blocking pattern in the Atlantic Ocean, keeping these storms able to come a little more northern into our Gulf of Mexico. And you can see that shot coming in right here as you go into the 18th for Saturday, into the 19th for Daddy Day. It brings that cold air towards the upper Ohio Valley into the Northeast. Then after that, it pushes off into the Atlantic. You get a little bit more for the 20th as it makes that little dip, but it goes into the northern Atlantic after that. Then it just stays in the Atlantic after that. And you can see that shot right here from the whole North America view. As you go into the 19th, you get this cold dip of air into the Northeast, and it stays around into the early 20s. Then it just stays into the northern Atlantic. It stays over here, and that helps create that blocking pattern. And as you can see right here around the 29th, late 20s, that you start getting something coming into the Gulf of Mexico. So let's go through the model guidance of what I showed you with the data, and let me show you what it looks like in the model guidance that comes out after the data. So this is your 18Z. This is the one that showed a very high ridge and allows everything to come into the Gulf. And you can see right around the 22nd, instead of this one heading to the west, going towards northern Mexico, the Bay of Campeche, that it shows it can come right on in into the north of Gulf of Mexico and go towards Florida. And I'm still showing this will be the one that gets blocked. Just like I showed yesterday, I have high confidence. This is the one that's still going to get blocked. But you can also see that that next wave comes in over here from Eastern Caribbean, and it does make its way weakened down across land of Venezuela, and it does start forming up around the end of June, the beginning of July. And this is the one that the high pressure will be over here swinging into our Gulf. And you can see that a lot better right here. This is your 0Z. This is the latest balloon update until you get your 12Z later on. That right around the 23rd, that first wave starts coming through. Western Caribbean tries to make that northern pattern. Then bam, you get all that high pressure up here that does block it and pushes it to the west. And that would be a Mexico issue. You see that big block? That's keeping the U.S. safe from that one. So Mexico, I will update you on that. We do care about everybody here. While that second one forms up late June, very beginning of July, and heads to the north. Now on this run, it shows a possible strong tropical storm going towards Louisiana, towards New Orleans, towards Mississippi, and going further into our country. But you can see how you got that blocking pattern right here of this big high pressure directing it right on in. And then when you look at your 6Z, which is your next model guidance run, remember the 0Z and 12Z is more accurate. Just like a controlled member, it would be a more than likely outcome. So in between, you're going to have different outcomes. And I did explain to you why you see that. But as you look on the 6Z, you can see that it does start getting something into the Eastern Pacific by the 21st. And that's the more likely outcome of that first wave, that it will go that way. Maybe even get a little bit after that, a little bit of trail, because the Central American gyre does spin these up. That would be your more than likely outcome of that first wave and not come towards the panhandle of Florida. But at the same time, that second one that builds up, the 6Z is showing that it even strengthens even more and heads more towards Texas as a strong hurricane. And that's the one that we're seeing in the 6Z this morning. This is the one that's showing is going towards Houston, then curving towards Dallas. And you can see the blocking pattern swinging it on in. But still, we don't wait on National Hurricane Center on our channel because we still have NOAA. And NOAA does a lot of good information as well. It is ready for an update any day now, guys. And it does show all that potential chance of a tropical depression or greater strength forming up right here from the 15th all the way to the 21st, even into the Eastern Pacific. So all these are still possible. And this is where this first wave is coming into play. But you can see that this was produced on the 14th, so that was days ago. So it needs another update, and it is ready for an update. But so far, it's showing from the 22nd to the 28th. More than likely, you will get a tropical depression or a greater strength in this red area right here, just like we've been seeing with Blas and soon to be Celia, maybe even later on today if it gets convection all the way around the center. And I do believe that we will start seeing one right here for Central America over by Western Caribbean in the update. So I do hope this helped understand a little bit why y'all been seeing the difference. I love data day. Data day is one of the best days if you ask me, because that's what you can know what to expect to come in the model guidance later on. So make sure you subscribe if you like early notifications of the data and the interpretations of what it is, of what you're going to expect to see later on in the model guidance. Make sure you click that bell. That way you know when the videos come out, because even though you subscribed, YouTube still won't notify you if you don't have that bell checked. But thank you so much, everybody, for visiting my channel today. God bless every single one of you. Good Shabbos to all of you taking your Sabbath. So remember, I upload every single day, just not Friday from sundown to sundown Saturday. That is Sabbath. Now, if there's life at risk, I will upload, of course. But we will be going into our Sabbath when sundown goes today. So God bless every single one of you. Hope you have a very blessed weekend and a very safe Friday. Now today, I want to read to you Psalm 57. Amen. Be merciful unto me, O God. Be merciful unto me. For my soul trusteth in thee. Yes, in the shadow of thy wings will I make my refuge, until these calamities be overpast. I will cry unto God most high, unto God that performeth all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me from the reproach of him that would swallow me up. Selah. Remember, Selah means think about what you just heard. So let me repeat that. He shall send from heaven and save me from the reproach of him that would swallow me up. Selah. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let thy glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have digged a pit before me, into the midst whereof they are fallen themselves. Selah. Once again, they have digged a pit before me, into the midst whereof they are fallen themselves. Selah. My heart is fixed, O God. My heart is fixed. I will sing and give praise. Awake up, my glory. Awake, psaltery and harp. I myself will awake early. I will praise thee, O Lord, among the people. I will sing unto thee among the nations. For thy mercy is great unto the heavens, and thy truth unto the clouds. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let thy glory be above all the earth. Amen. Have a very blessed day today, everybody. God bless every single one of you. And remember, most of all, if you've never been here, all glory, all honor, all power does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, our Father, our one and only Father, forever and ever. And he will keep you safe. Go to a private place and speak to him. He loves to have a relationship with you. And he loves a private relationship. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a very great weekend, everybody. I'll see you Sunday morning on Daddy Day.